Okay, very good. Again, thank you guys all for being here today. For those of you that don't know who I am Glay Koenig, and I am a TOSA with ILE. I also have one of my colleagues here joining me today as well, and it's Tina. So Tina, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Tina Lanou. I am a teacher on special assignment as well with Glay.
Very good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with a quick poll. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. And the question that I'm wondering is, how often are you all using Google Slides? So if you can just quickly answer that poll for us, we'll go ahead and take a look at those answers. One of the great things about Pear Deck is that it is a way to empower your slides. So what we're going to do is take a look on how we do that and really take a look at the power of using our Pear Deck. All right, so our objectives for today are to learn how to harness the power of Google Slides utilizing the Pear Deck add-on. We're going to experience Pear Deck as a student, and we're also going to understand the difference between doing a self-paced lesson versus an instructor-paced lesson. And then I'm going to give you guys some time to create a Pear Deck on your own utilizing one of the pre-made templates that they offer. All right, so we're going to get started now with our connections. And we all know that one of the major objectives for our USD graduates is for them to become critical thinkers, to communicate effectively, and to be able to solve problems creatively. And this is such a great cool tool, that encompasses all of those objectives from our district. All right, so like I said, we're going to define what Pear Deck is. We will experience it as a student. We will look at the 5 different question types. We will take a look at the different templates. And then we will look at how to start a Pear Deck in both a teacher-paced mode as well as in a student-paced mode. Finding what Pear Deck is. And I have this quick video for you guys to watch. So let me make sure I'm sharing this tab with you. Give me 1 second. Here we go. You all, and I know that virtual learning is not as easy, so go ahead and feel free to leave your cameras off if that's what you're most comfortable doing. Just sitting back taking notes, that's fine as well. And if any time you have a question, don't hesitate to raise your hand or unmute yourself. Just let this be a free conversation so that we can all share and learn together. So sorry for not mentioning that before. Okay, so as you can see, Pear Deck's mission really is to empower us by giving us the add-on so that we can give these powerful lessons to our students each and every day that are engaging and allow us to give them their response times and their feedback immediately. So to really understand and experience it, I want you to start as a student. So Tina, if you could go ahead in the chat box, she's going to put a link and I'm going to have you guys join as if you were a student joining my own Pear Deck. So in a new tab, if you guys could go to www.joinpd.com, and then there is going to be a code that Tina will also put in the chat for you as well. Okay. All right, so if you are in, this is what you should be seeing right here. Okay, and so from my end, what I did is I went into the slide deck and I clicked onto the Pear Deck add-on, and then I started this presentation for you. So this is all where you guys are at now. And this one is currently being done in a teacher pace mode. And what that means is that you do not have the ability to move on until to the next slide until I change the slide. So when it is in instructor pace mode, you have all the power. Okay, so Pear Deck has 5 different question types. And so what we'll do right now is we will go through and experience each of these different questions. Let's go ahead and get ready. Here is the first slide, and this is a multiple choice option. And so you can see it right here. How much do you know about Pear Deck? And so something that I'm going to do is I am going to actually share this tab with you. And this is actually the teacher dashboard. So I actually have a different training that will tell you everything about the teacher dashboard. But one of the great things is that when you are on the teacher dashboard, it shows you the answers and you can share them with your students immediately like this, or you can select which responses that you like to share with your students. So here in the multiple choice option, you can see immediately, this is a great opportunity for you to say, hey, I'm going through this lesson and I'm not sure how my kids are feeling right now. So I'm going to make this slide into a Pear Deck slide, and I'm just going to check and just kind of get a gauge for your students. So this is one great example of using a multiple choice question. And then if you notice, it's kind of hard to tell right here, but there is the layered mode in terms of responses. And if I click on it, it'll show me, the names of the students that have responded in a different way. But then you can also click the grid view, which let me see if I can zoom in so you can see a little bit better. There we go. Right here at the top is what I'm referring to. This is the grid view, and then it will show the responses by student. So that's another great thing, a great powerful piece in terms of using Pear Deck. All right, let's go ahead and move back on to the next question. Okay. And again, if you have questions or all right, and this one is a nice draggable piece. So I used to teach first grade, and one of the great things I did was utilizing this one. I would give images to the kids, and it would allow them to drag. The other, excuse me, great thing about these icons is they can be changed. So if you are, want to be thematic and choose something, an arrow, anything, Pear Deck does give you the ability to make those changes. But you can also see this is a great tool that can be used in high school also, for an English lesson, any of those things. And this question here asks us, it is asking us to estimate how many jelly beans can fit in the jar. So again, this is another great tool, another wonderful question type that you can use with your students in terms of estimation. This is also great to use when you're doing mean, median, and mode for your students. You can see the range when you're using it with them as well. So the drag is another, or the estimation is another great tool. And then as a follow-up piece, again, you can see the responses. So let me zoom in here. Let's see, we have some good responses. 200, 100, 444, 58, okay. All right, and then now let's take a look here. at the next one. So we ask the math question, we ask them to give an answer, and then now for that Common Core piece, now they need to explain their thinking. So this is the short answer question. So if you want to take a moment to explain your thinking on how you came up with the number that you selected. Very good. Got some really detailed answers. I love it. The bottom layer looks like they're about 10, and it looks like 10 layers. Therefore, 10 times 10 is 100. Length times width times height. Very good. Multiplying the sides by the bottoms. Very good. So you could really see like the power to use this with your kids. You know, you ask them the question and then require them to give them some deeper thought into this as well when it comes to your math questions or you know, anything really. I guess you could ask them, you know, if you were doing a history lesson, you could do the same type of thing, you know, estimate, I don't know, the number of soldiers, something like that, and then explain the thinking or anything like that. Okay, so thank you for those of you that are participating, hoping you guys are able to see what a great tool this is. All right, so the next type of question that you can use in Pear Deck is drawing. And so just to have a little fun, go ahead and see how you guys do drawing a dog playing the violin with a pineapple body. So go right ahead. And I will wait until everyone's finished before I share these. Okay, so again, this is another great example of how you can use this with your kids just to have some fun. We have some great artists in here, so let's go ahead and see. I can star some of these answers to share with the students as well. I can leave feedback for the kids also. So let me just go ahead and layer these and show you. Yeah, this one's really good. Very good. Nice. Okay, some of you guys are still working. Thank you. Very cool. Love the tail. Nice. Give you guys a couple more minutes. So this is another great one as well. Very good. Yeah, and really the power of Pear Deck is about the engagement piece. So even for you guys, I'm so impressed by your engagement and your attention to detail. So just think about how that is able to transition over to your students. Just you know, the engagement piece alone is so incredible. So one thing I will mention while we are working is I had said to you that this is a teacher-paced. So one of the other powers of Pear Deck in doing it in a teacher-paced lesson is you have the ability to lock an activity. So let's say that you are going through the lesson and you've given your students the drawing activity, and you realize that there are some details that you need them to include. So what you can do is actually lock it, and then the kids can't engage with it until you unlock it. So that is another great thing when you are using Pear Deck in the instructor pace mode, that you can do that as well. And we'll get a little bit more in depth when we discuss that further. But let's go ahead and continue engaging with this. Go ahead and drag the icon. Again, the icons can be changed. This one's a little tricky, so I had to do my research to find out where it was. So let's see if we have any geography buffs in our group today. Okay, very good. Yeah, so here we go. It's right here. Tina's right. It's here in Algeria, but Algeria is right here actually. So you can see how this is amazing. Again, the kids are engaged, they're interactive. You can change the icons on how they respond. So this is another one of the drag the icons. And then here is the final option in terms of the type of question that you can give the kids as well. So go ahead and drag the dot to show if you're ready to move on or not. Sorry about this, my thing is buffering. Okay, very good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am actually going to switch this from the instructor pace mode, and I'm going to switch it to turn it into the student pace mode. And I'm going to set the timer, and I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes to go ahead and explore the remaining slides down below at your own pace. And so how I do that is I'm just going to go ahead and click right here on the 3 dots, and I'm going to switch it to student paced. And then yes, I have it. So go ahead and take about 5 minutes and go ahead and continue to explore the remaining slides on here and some of the different activities that you can do with your students. And if you have any questions, again, just unmute yourself. Tina and I are here for you. Okay, everyone, we have about 45 more seconds. Hopefully you guys were able to experience this as a student and start to see the value of how Pear Deck can engage your students as well. So what I'm going to do is, I had referenced this before, is I'm going to show you guys how you end the session. And one other piece that I showed you was locking out the questions. So when you are in your teacher pace mode or your teacher dashboard, you know, as we know with anything, we have the 3 dots are powerful. And so we click on that and it gives us the option to turn off student pace mode. So when I do that, it brings me back to here. And if you take a look down at the bottom of the screen, I'll go ahead and zoom in here so you can see it a little bit better. This is where you would come to lock the screen if you temporarily didn't want your students to be able to respond to the question that is on the Pear Deck. And all you do is you click on it and it locks it. And then when you give the directions and you're ready to release, you just simply click on it again, and that's how it unlocks the screen. Okay, so before we move on any further, do I have any questions? Okay, so now that you guys have had the opportunity to experience Pear Deck as a student, let's go ahead and get started so you guys can find ways to empower the lessons that you guys are already doing to give to your kids. All right, so creating a Pear Deck, we do start in Google Slides, but we could also start from the main Pear Deck website. But for the purposes of this, the easiest way to do it is to be in a slide. So if you wanted to begin by doing a brand new one, or if you wanted to take one that you've already done with your students, you can still add on Pear Deck even though it's already completed. So to begin in a new tab, if I could get you guys to go and open up a brand new slide, that would be awesome, so that we can walk through this. The district has been great, and we have premium accounts. So when we get to that step, you guys are going to see that we have many more options than just the free version. And if I'm not mistaken, the district has pushed out this add-on, so most of you guys should have it on your computer. If you don't, please unmute yourselves and let me know, and I can show you how to add that on real quick. So I'll give you guys a second or two to open up a slide, Google Slides, in another tab. Okay, and so once you guys are there, you're just going to go across the top there and you're going to find add-ons. And then you're going to find the Pear Deck Slides add-on, and then you're going to click Open Pear Deck. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look and see here. We have actually a Pear Deck account has already been created for you guys. So what you will want to do is click on this here. Oh, you're okay. I saw your message, Melinda. Thank you very much for letting me know. I won't go too quick. So we can go ahead and click on this link right here where it says app.peardeck.com, and this will actually take us to the website. And then what you'll do is you'll go ahead and, great, good job, Melinda. Thank you for letting me know. What we'll actually do is go up here and you're going to click on Teacher Login. I'll zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit better. You'll click on Teacher Login. And since you have never logged in before, it may ask you to log in with your Google account. So if you could do that, that would be great. And then up here at the top, this is where you will find your information here. And we have these lovely little crowns here because we have premium accounts. So as I had mentioned before, there's two different ways to create a Pear Deck lesson. One is directly doing it through Google Slides. The other is coming here to the website and doing it from here as well. In the future, you will come here to access your different sessions that you create. So if you are creating sessions in advance, you can find them in your Drive, or you can also find them here on the website listed under sessions. So there's two different places that you can go to do that. All right, so go ahead and leave this tab open and we will go back to our presentation, or I'll go back to the presentation here to show you. Once you have created a slide, a blank slide, and you want to use one of the Pear Deck options, the 5 different question types, all you're going to do is you're going to slide over and you're going to pick the one that you want. You can ask them questions. You can use the template library. You can add audio to the slides. And you can also use, sorry, I went ahead. There's also featured content. So when you click on the Pear Deck add-on within Google, you are going to get this template, if you will, that opens over to the right-hand side column. And this is all the information that you'll see. So you have your template library that's here. You have the 5 different question types, the ability to add in audio, and then also to use featured content that they provide to you. As you guys experience, there are the 5 different question types. Text, which is short answer, choice, multiple choice, numbers. You can embed websites as well. You can draw, and you can do different draggables. Okay, so if you choose to use one of the template library options, they're great, especially for, I like to use them at the beginning of a lesson, but I also like to use them for SEL lessons as well. So they have some great opportunities for you to just click on something, make a quick change to it, and then push it out to your kids. And then they are getting really good at including a lot of SEL, but then they also differentiate it by subject matter as well as age as well. So there's a lot of different choices for you in there. And what you're going to do to select one of those is you just click on the template library, tab over, and tab over again. So this is one example here. Oops, sorry. This is one example here where it asks you to draw, it's the beginning of a lesson activity where it asks you to draw 2 things that you already know about a topic. So if you were doing like a KWL chart with your students, you could use this template and modify it a little bit and have them say to you, tell me 2 things that you already know, and then go on and create a chart later on for your KWL for your students. That's just one example. But there's so many different things that you guys could do using these templates. And they are editable, so that is another great thing. Okay, so what I would like for you guys to do for the next 8 minutes is please go ahead and take 8 minutes, and I want you to explore, create, do all those things. If you have any questions, again, Tina and I are here for you. Feel free to unmute yourselves, and we are here. But otherwise, go ahead and enjoy and explore and have fun. Hi, Leticia. I just saw your question, and the answer is yes. You can add pictures, and if you'd like me to show you how to do that, I can. Just go ahead and unmute. Oh, you said never mind. Okay. So sorry.
It's okay, thank you. I figured it out like on a different device thing to do. But since I do first grade, I know kind of doing pictures for the students that are not right now at the reading level that I would like them to be is a little bit more of a scaffolding versus just putting the word.
Yes, that's a great point. Thank you so much for mentioning that. Yeah, the scaffolding piece is an excellent point to mention because with especially with the littles. But the other valuable piece that I'll mention to you, Leticia, is being able to add the audio. So that is another great, powerful piece to use as scaffolding for all age levels. You can record yourself and then embed it in there, and then the kids can listen to you read as an audio piece as well. Or even if you wanted to, if you've had a recording of a story that you found and you wanted to embed that as well, that's another great way to scaffold utilizing the Pear decks.
Okay, so I have a question on that then. How do you add a story? Because I was like doing this for tomorrow for my SEL lesson. And so I'm doing like our SEL focus is organization. And then I said, how did time and organization go together? And I'm going to do the tortoise and the hare.
Oh, cute. Okay.
So like, how would I do that?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so what I will do is let me, I pulled this up just in case anybody had those types of questions. Okay, so what you would do is, again, here I'm on a slide that I created, and you want to start the audio or add the audio. So you click right here,
Yes.
and this is either you're recording yourself or you're uploading something.
Oh, okay.
So you would do the upload right here. One other thing I do want to mention, and this is important, is let's say that I created a slide and I initially thought, sorry about that, guys. I put in that I wanted it to be a text response. And then I decide, you know what? That's not what I want. I actually want them to draw. So all you do is click on the bar that's below the slide and then delete it. And then that's how you take that off, and it lets you make that change. So it's the little bar that appears at the bottom of the slide deck there. So I had it as text, and then I changed my mind and I said, okay, I actually want it to be a drawing. So now you can see that here at the bottom, it is now a drawing slide. So if you ever want to just change it or delete it, that's how you do it. It's just clicking on the bar. Well, honestly, the best part is it really gives you the ability to really engage your kids, and you can do so much with this. I know this is just the beginning, and I'm hoping that this really sparks your interest and you want to join us for our next dive a little bit deeper, or if it even challenges you to find ways that you can be creative. We would love to hear how you're using your Pear decks if you decide that you want to move forward with that also. Okay, and then Leticia, you were able to figure out the pictures then. That's good.
Yes, I was. Thank you.
Very good.
I also mentioned that I think right now, I don't know how other teachers are, but I know like with COVID and everything, they're giving us like just random lists where they're like, hey, you have an independent packet study and all this. And some things might be a little easier to do right there with your audio and recording versus just doing it just on Google Classroom with the parents probably not having an idea of what to do. So thank you.
No, thank you for Leticia for mentioning that. That's a great suggestion to share with your colleagues. Absolutely. We don't know when our kids are going to miss class or what we're going to have to push out to them. So even if you created like a set of templates that you could have for your own self, so that whenever you randomly have a student go out, you can just say, this is done and I'm going to push it out for them. That's a really great suggestion. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And again, like you mentioned, times are hard. You have some kids and you don't have some kids with you guys, and, keeping everyone inspired and engaged. The Pear Deck is such a great opportunity to use with your kids. But in an effort to be respectful of everyone's time, I want to make sure that we move on here a little bit more. So hopefully you guys were able to to start your Pear Deck. The one thing that I will mention is going back to this tab here. After you have completed and created your Pear Deck and you want it to be done, this is one of the major things that you need to remember to do, is that if you don't start the lesson, it won't become engaging for the students. So if you remember back to the beginning of our PD this afternoon, I had you guys go to a separate tab and go to joinpd.com, and then you guys were given the code. And how you do that for your students is when you're ready to begin, you click, again, your add-ons, and then it brings you over here. And at the top where it says start the lesson, this is what you have to push in order for the lesson to become engaging. So you do that. And then I had mentioned to you guys there's a difference between the student paced versus the instructor pace. Student pace is when they do it 100% independently. So as Letitia was talking about before, if you have your kids at home because they're sick, you definitely want those lessons to be student paced. If it's something that you are doing in class, you want to control it, again, it's instructor pace. But do also remember that if you are in class and you're doing instructor pace, couldn't spit that out, sorry, you do have the ability on the fly right there to switch it straight to student paced immediately. So do bear that in mind. So after you choose which type of lesson you want it to be, just for this example, I'll select this one, it is going to generate that code. And here is the code. And then you can share this link with your students in your Google Classroom, or you can just put it in, if you're displaying it in class, you can display that up there, and then your students can join the lesson right then and there. But this is really important that you make sure that you're starting those lessons so that they can become interactive. So, and then you guys have the copies of the slides here. So if you ever get stuck, please don't hesitate to reference back and take a look at that. If you would like to make a copy of the slide deck as well, then, please feel free to do that as well. So hopefully you guys have found this to be engaging, and hopefully it sparks your interest to want to dive a little bit deeper into Pear Deck. But also know that this does reflect many of the different thoughtful lesson designs that we are, and ways that we're trying to integrate appropriate technology with our kids, utilizing the SAMR model here. And Pear Deck is just one example of doing that. So we do have, slight little plug here, we do have Pear Deck 201, or it's now actually being referred to as Beyond the Basics. And I will show you how to utilize the pop-up activities. You can leave feedback for your students. We'll dive a little bit deeper into, how to go into the audio. We'll take a look at the teacher dashboard and student takeaways. And then one of the greatest tools is actually the immersive reader. That is hands down my favorite part of Pear Deck. So if you are available to join us, we will be having that on the 27th of this month. I think Tina put that link in the chat for you guys. If you're interested in joining up through KickUp, it is there for you. And once you guys are finished doing the confirming your attendance and leaving the feedback, you guys are free to go. If you do have any questions or anything you'd like to share with us, we are here for a couple more minutes. So also feel free to unmute yourselves and share anything that you would like.